Yeah, it's definitely interesting. The Las Vegas, I'll just say, surroundings at a game and just what they do. But hey, it is what it is.
What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on the theatrics, the confetti, the flailing arm guy, the hype man? Do you think that it's smart promotion or do you think it's just too over the top?
I was actually having this conversation with someone earlier today, and I was saying I think it honestly is just trying to promote Vegas the way you think of Vegas if you're not from there. And when you
Mhm.
think of Vegas, you think of the casinos, the strip, just the glamour, the lights, the that, they're literally called the lights.
I
I think
saw
they're
it.
trying to recreate that ambiance. And if you're just there for sport, obviously you're not going to be too thrilled with all the theatrics going on. I don't love it. I'm not like up in arms about it, but also I don't really watch them play as much as someone who would be affiliated with them does. Rising plays them twice a year, but they only got to play there once, and I might
Yeah.
watch a couple lights games. So I've been there. It's definitely different than being at Rising, also playing in a baseball stadium. So I don't know. It seems to me that, not to go on a whole tangent, but it seems to me that the American soccer model it it, it seems like there's like two theories of thought, and it goes to even the MLS team names. It seems like there's one side that wants to like be like England, and then there's another side that wants to be completely different because it's American. Let's make it our own thing. And it
Mhm.
kind of seems like it's the one way or the other. It's not really in between.
I mean, I think you made some incredible points there because one thing I was going to mention when you going back to what you said about the lights, I saw on an episode of Pawn Stars a few weeks ago where Rick Harrison, the Pawn Stars guy, he mentioned that I guess any business in Las Vegas is required to have neon signs, which is just that's how that city is. So yeah, I mean, what you see is Las Vegas, and I think that that's part of what makes soccer so unique is that every club kind of represents its town. I mean, it's like Accrington Stanley. I mean, when you think of Accrington Stanley, you think of, like mushy peas and North England pies. And, that's what that area is about. So with Las Vegas, you make a great point. I mean, if it was any other city, no. But for Las Vegas, I mean, that's kind of them showing what Las Vegas is.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, the one thing I will say is the confetti on the field. There's a lot of it. I think that's
No,
kind of a
no.
problem. That's a
Yeah,
little bit
I
of an issue.
mean,
Once something's affecting play, I think it's
right.
a little much. The inflatable mans are in the background. That's fine. And then the hype man, I don't think it's any different than supporter group chants. So
Yeah, but the confetti, yeah, I definitely think that, that probably affected play, but
I did like how the midfield line wasn't straight.
I remember there was an old commercial that I think it was like an American football, and some guy was putting the lines on uneven, and that's exactly what it reminded me of, was that old commercial. But, like you said, the other thing I just wanted to kind of come back to what you said about that some teams try to be American and some teams try to be European. And I think it's really a matter of finding that happy medium. And I think that there are some teams that manage to do that pretty well. I obviously biased here, but I think that Phoenix Rising do a pretty good job of maintaining that balance of not losing their American identity, but also kind of respecting the European ways of the game.
Oh yeah, I think the name was brilliant. Obviously, if you don't know the legend of the Phoenix, you get a little history lesson there, and then just what they do at games. Obviously, it's not the most ideal stadium setup. You obviously would want something a little more set in stone and a little easier to get in and out of, but it's not like they're going like a Las Vegas is. So it is very, very, very professional in terms of I haven't been to a lot of USL stadiums, but I've been to Orange County. I've been to Louisville. So it's very not, it's not as nice as those because those are legitimate stadiums. But it's along those lines. It's not a baseball stadium. It's not a makeshift. It was made for what they do. It's
I think that's a big thing is the quality of the pitch.
Oh, absolutely. It's something that you notice right away when you're there or even on TV. And it's something that coaches and players always talk about because teams can not cut the grass. They can make their field shorter or skinnier if they want, as long as it's in the parameters. Like Las Vegas is going to have a smaller field just because of the parameters. So you're not going to have as much space and that sort of thing. So it's like Barcelona plays with the biggest pitch possible. Why? Because they want to use all the space they can.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing that you bring up is that, different teams will have a different size of pitch. And that's something that's really kind of unique in soccer. I mean, obviously in baseball, you'll see different size stadiums, but in just about any other sport, it's kind of the basketball or NFL or
one singular.
It's every field's going to be exactly the same size, and I think that's something that a lot of new fans might not know is that different teams play at a different size of pitch. I mean, that one in Vegas, there was just so little distance between the touchline and the 18-yard box. It has to be like absolute minimum regulations, I would think.
Oh yeah, there's definitely parameters that it has to be within. I'm not exactly sure what those are off the top of my head, but I know for a fact they exist.
I think it varies by league.
I know there's ones for FIFA in general, and then, like I said, it's once you're inside your own league, you can kind of do your own thing.